Po.
Ay, magandang hapon. Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sir. Sir, una muna, tuloy na tuloy po ba yung nakaschedule na Blue Ribbon Committee on Monday, January 19?
Yeah, mamaya. Anyway, may opening statement
Okay,
ako,
sir.
pwede?
Go ahead, sir.
Oh, sige, okay. Magsabunutan daw kami. Yan ang reaction ni Senator Amy Marcos sa issue ng di umano ay pork barrel sa 2026 GAA, allocables and her baseless insults, and untruthful criticisms against the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, which I chair. Either Senator Amy thought na piluka yung buhok ko or she was insinuating na bakla ako. Kaya siya nagamon ng sabunutan. On both counts, I say nothing can be farthest from the truth. Una, hindi po piluka ang aking buhok. Idugtong ko na rin na walang peke sa mukha ko. Hindi rin pustiso ang ngipin ko. My teeth are all mine. Ulitin ko, walang peke sa anumang bahagi ng aking mukha. Pangalawa, lalong hindi ako bakla. At kung iniisip ni Senator Amy na bakla ako, wala siyang maaring makita na macho dito sa mundo. Pangalawa, or anyway, please don't get me wrong. I have nothing against homosexuals. It is their choice, and I respect them for that. But as far as I'm concerned, kahit hindi ako kagwapuhan, para sa akin, masarap pa rin na maging tunay na lalaki. At tulad ni Tito Soto at Kiringo Hunasan, macho din po ako. Lalaking lalaki. Period. End of discussion. On Monday, January 19, we will resume the Blue Ribbon Committee hearings to further clarify some issues surrounding the flood control anomalies. Hence, we'd like to know more about the so-called Cabral files, not necessarily from Congressman Leandro Leviste, although he is most welcome to attend and participate in the hearing. In fact, we're also sending an invitation to the Speaker of the House of Representatives. But we prefer to get it from the original and official source itself, the DPWH, Department of Public Works and Highways. In this regard, we are issuing a subpoena ducis tecum to Secretary Vince Dizon with the end in view of consolidating all the files, including but not limited to what the late Undersecretary Cabral left before she died, and which are confirmed to be in the possession of the department and which the Blue Ribbon Committee needs to further enhance our inquiry and investigation. Nag-usap na kami ni Secretary Vince tungkol dito last Monday at kung ano-ano mga files at dokumento ang kailangan namin. In relation to this, I received reliable information that former DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan deliberately submitted to Malacanang incorrect grid coordinates of thousands of flood control projects all over the country which form part of the Sumbong sa Pangulo website. This resulted in grossly inaccurate data involving some 421 ghost projects on previously inspected flood control projects earlier reported to the public by the said department, and which they are now trying to rectify by comparing the records in their multi-year planning and scheduling, or MIPS, MYPS, Project and Contract Management Application, or PCMA, and other related documents that remain intact and in the possession of the department. Second, we would like to clarify persistent reports that former Speaker Martin Romualdez had purchased a house and lot in a plush subdivision in Makati City using the Discayas as front in the said sale. If verified to be true, this could possibly establish a direct connection between the former Speaker and the Discayas. In this regard, we may invite the former owner of the property to shed light. This is what I'm advising Senator Amy Marcos. Noise does not convict. Neither does it indict even who may be perceived as the most guilty in the FCP or Flood Control Project saga. Only evidence does. Kaya kung meron siyang mayaambag na ebidensya para madiin ang kanyang pinsan, sumali siya sa pagdinig. Walang pipigil sa kanya at walang magbabawal sa sasabihin niya o gagawin niya. We would also seek further clarification from the so-called BGC boys and what prompted reports that they have recanted or planning to recant their testimonies before the committee or any other investigating body. I also intend to clarify with former Yusek Bernardo the circumstances behind a failed attempt by former Chief PNP and now MMDA General Manager Nicolas Torre to take him under the custody of the latter and find out for what purpose. We will also issue subpoena to personalities who snubbed our invitations during the last hearing under pain of contempt and arrest by the Senate Sergeant at Arms. With all that said, I'm ready to answer your questions.
Sir, balikan ko lang yung kay Senator Amy Marcos. How do you find yung ganong klase ho ng statement o reaction sa inyo naging pahayag bilang isang lawmaker?
Well, nakakagulo, no? Hindi nakakatulong. Kasi unang-una, wala talagang pagpipigil o pagbabawal na ginagawa. Particularly ang chairman o sinong miyembro ng komite na nag-aatin ng hearing. Sino kami para magbawal sa kasamahan namin? No? So talagang masyadong insulto sa integridad ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. Sa amin lahat, for that matter. Even to herself, kasi member siya ng Blue Ribbon. Hindi nga siya nag-a-attend, so paano niya masasabi na pinagbabawalan siya o sila?
So, anong intention niya? Sirain yung credibility ng investigation ng Senate Blue Ribbon Committee?
Hindi ko alam, kasi even earlier, di ba marami siyang sinasabi sa inyo na may babaliktad. Hindi ko alam kung bakit ginugulo niya. No? I think you better ask herself or her, no, regarding that issue.
Pero napakababang level po ba yung mga statement o yung mga term na ginamit niya bilang sagot ho sa inyo?
Ayoko na mag-comment. Una-una, non-answer naman yung kanyang sagot eh. Hindi naman niya kinonfront yung issue. No? Sa halip, nililihis niya at anong mga issue pa ang kanyang sinasabi sa pagtugon doon sa naging usapan o usapin.
And then dun ho kay House Speaker Martin Romualdez, sino po yung may-ari ng biniling property na naging front ho ay ang Diskaya?
I'm trying to arrange a meeting with her. And kapag may liwanag na, kasi narinig ko rin na parang willing siya mag-testify.
Yung may-ari, sir?
Yung may-ari, yung dating may-ari. Para talagang, at least, pwede nating paghanapan o magsimula ng investigasyon tungkol sa direct connection o direct link between the Diskayas and the former speaker.
Pero mag-attend na ho this coming Monday yung may-ari ng property?
Sinasabi ko, nag-arrange ako ng meeting sa kanya at kung sasang-ayon siya na mag-attend, papadala namin siya ng invitation.
Sino po yung source ng information na...
Marami. Marami nagsasabi niyan.
So ito na po yung pwedeng maging direct link at baka
yung
hindi...
simula, para may pagsimulan yung kung sino man yung gusto mag-imbestiga.
Against former Speaker Romualdez?
Not necessarily against, but to shed light. Bakit ganun ang connection? Para pagkatiwalaan mo yung isang contractor na nasa sangkot sa, sinabi ko na to, 207.5 billion pesos na kontrata mula 2016 hanggang 2025. Napakalaki. So kung merong koneksyon, dapat na maliwanagan natin kung bakit ganong kalakas ang tiwala para ipagkatiwala mo yung pagbili ng isang house and lot sa isang subdivision, sikat na subdivision sa Makati City.
At magkano po yung amount nung...
Name your price yung usapan. Gusto natin maliwanagan kung magkano talaga nagkabentahan.
Pero hindi po invited si former Speaker Romualdez?
As I said, pagdating sa counterpart namin sa House, mayroong parliamentary courtesy na umiiral. At pwede lang namin silang imbitahan, hindi pwedeng pilitin, through the House Speaker. Pero kung ayaw nilang mag-attend, wala rin kaming magagawa. Kasi ganun din ang dapat na tratong ginagawa nila sa amin. Dahil nga sa umiiral na interparliamentary courtesy between the two houses.
Before Marlon, sir, according to DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla, parang niutos na ni PBBM na madali na yung pag-uwi kay former Congressman Saldico. Kinukonsider na nila ang hingin ng tulong ng Interpol at ng United Nations. Sa tingin nyo, di ba ninyo pa sinasabi na pwede yung sa United Nations? So, too late ba itong action na ito?
Hindi naman. Nothing is too late. Kasi ngayon pala naman magsisimula yung trial sa Sandigan Bayan at sa mga korte. Mayroon ng warrant of arrest na na-issue laban sa kanya dahil wala tayong extradition treaty na umiiral between Portugal or some other countries na pwedeng naandun si Saldico. So mas mainam na yung idaan nito sa UNCAC, sa United Nations Corruption something. 192 member countries, member ang Pilipinas, at pwede tayong dumulog doon para maiuwi rito si former Congressman ko.
So kapag hiningi na yung tulong ng UN at Interpol, sigurado na po yung maiuwi sa bansa?
Malamang. At saka yung European Union, alam ko meron silang agreement na magtutulungan sila kung nasa isang bansa na walang extradition treaty ang naghihiling na bansa. Pwedeng dalhin doon sa bansa na kung saan may umiiral na extradition. Maraming paraan. Interpol, dahil kung nasa red notice list, pwedeng dumulog din doon para kung maaresto, maipadala rito. Not necessarily through extradition. Although mayroon din ako narinig ng instruction na mag-apply na o kaya magsagawa na ng preliminary talks with Portugal para magkaroon ng extradition treaty. Although long shot yun. Kasi aside from the executive department initiative, dadaan pa yan sa ratification sa Senado.
So, ang easiest way, sir, hingin ng tulong ng UN at saka ng Interpol?
We can do it simultaneously, actually. Kung ano yung mauna at yung mas mainam, mas effective, edi yun na yung pairalin.
Okay, before Marlon, ihabol ko lang. According to the lawyer of Alcantara, he is not recanting his prior statement. False and misleading daw po yung nag-circulate online na magre-recant yung BGC boys. So sir, ano yung possible din talaga na may mga puwersa o influential people na kumakausap sa kanya?
Yun ang gusto natin malaman. Sa kabila ng pagtanggi ng abogado ng kampo ni Alcantara, gusto pa rin natin malaman ano yung may mga attempt pa na nangyari para sila'y mag-recant. At kung meron, sino? At kung sino, bakit? Kaya ganun pa rin. Gusto pa rin natin maliwanagan yung istorya behind the reports na nag-recant na o nagpaplano mag-recant. Sina Alcantara, si Bryce Hernandez. Kaya ipapatawag uli natin sila, yung BGC boys, para marinig mismo sa kanila, para ma-record ng Blue Ribbon Committee ano yung naging dahilan kung bakit lumabas yung ganito mga reports.
Pero may info ho ba kayo na may nag-a-attempt talagang kausapin sila to convince them to recant?
Well, that's normal for the camp of those being implicated na makipag-usap kasi yun ang mga iniisip nilang pwedeng magpabagsak sa ebidensya laban doon sa mga na-implicate. Normal lang yun. Gusto natin maliwanagan, although sinabi ko na rin na hindi stand-alone yung kanilang testimonies kasi pwede itong maibangga do sa mga other corroborative documentary evidence pati ibang testimonya ng ibang testigo. So, pero siyempre may epekto yun maski paano do sa ebidensya. Lalo na sa pagdating sa trial kasi guilt beyond reasonable doubt ang threshold. Sa pagpapile ng kaso, yung probable cause or yung sinasabing reasonable certainty of conviction, medyo mababa yung threshold. Pero pagdating sa husgado, napakabigat nun. Guilt beyond reasonable doubt ang kinakailangan. So, lahat ng ebidensyang kailangan maisalang sa korte, kailangan nandoon. So, still, kailangan pa rin na nandyan yung matibay na testimonya ng mga sina Alcantara, Bryce Hernandez, JP Mendoza, para talagang masolidify yung kaso sa korte.
At sila nandito pa rin, sir, sa Senate Congress.
Nandiyan pa rin sila.
So kung meron man nakikipag-usap, possible ba yun kung nakadetain sila?
Hindi naman kailangan direktang kausapin sila.
Pwedeng sa
Lawyer to lawyer.
Okay, Marlon, and